Israel calling up tens of thousands of reservists to expand war on Gaza. The war escalates amid starvation and global fury. Move comes despite global outrage over humanitarian blockade and calls to reach lasting ceasefire. Tens of thousands of Israeli reservists, called up, Gaza faces new phase of war. In a shocking new escalation, Israel is mobilizing tens of thousands of reservists to launch a wider assault on Gaza, even as the world demands a ceasefire and Gaza spirals into humanitarian collapse. With Gaza's healthcare and infrastructure obliterated, humanitarian agencies warn of a total collapse. Aid trucks are blocked at the border, and famine is looming. The entire population is fighting to survive. Army Chief Eyal Zamir: "We're increasing pressure to bring our people back and crush Hamas." The military chief made the announcement during a visit to the Atlit naval base on Israel's northern Mediterranean coast on Sunday after Netanyahu vows more war, not peace. Despite rising protests inside Israel, Netanyahu promises to expand the offensive and rejects calls for a deal to release captives and end the war, which has killed more than 52,000 Palestinians. Some government officials told the Reuters news agency that the cabinet would also discuss the resumption of aid to Gaza, as humanitarian groups warn of increased starvation in the territory since Israel imposed a total blockade on March 25. On the other hand, Israel continues to face widespread global outrage over the conduct of its war in Gaza, which has shattered the territory's infrastructure, as well as its healthcare system, and displaced the vast majority of its 2.3 million residents at least once since the war began. Far-right Israeli Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, in an interview with Israeli Army Radio, said he wanted to see a powerful expansion of the war. He said, "Bomb their food and electricity." United Nations agencies have said truck convoys carrying aid are building up at the border and have not been allowed into the enclave, where famine is looming. Israeli officials claim an expanded military offensive would pressure Hamas into releasing the 59 remaining captives, but critics argue it further endangers their lives. A missile strike at Ben Gurion Airport wounds 6, flights are suspended, and Netanyahu threatens retaliation. The Middle East is a tinderbox, and it just got closer to explosion. The reserve call-ups are going out as Netanyahu promised to respond to Yemen's Houthis after the rebels fired a missile that struck a road at Israel's Ben Gurion International Airport, wounding 6 people and prompting several major airlines to suspend flights. Netanyahu said the response will take place at a time and place of our choosing. The Houthis have said their fighters carried out the assault in support of the oppressed Palestinian people and to counter Israel's crime of genocide in Gaza. Reportedly, Netanyahu holds an emergency security meeting after a major scandal. US-made Arrow 3 and THAAD systems failed to intercept the Yemeni missile. Western cutting-edge weapons turning into scrap. Israeli media report a marked increase in reservists refusing to show up for army duty, pointing to rapidly declining support for a war that critics say is no longer motivated by Israel's security interests. Public opinion reflects growing discontent with the war. A poll by the Israel Democracy Institute found that 45% of Jewish Israelis support ending the war through a ceasefire to bring hostages home, while 43% favor continuing military operations.